Welcome back to the channel, guys. For those of you new, my name is Azam and we cover off the most in-depth looks at the A3, what optional extras you should go for, what's good about it, what's bad about it. So before you go any further, if you are interested in the A3s, hit that subscribe button, go to our channel, check out all the other videos. As always, I do want this to be as engaging as possible, so if you have any questions, leave comments down below, or alternatively follow us on the social media channels as well. So you've seen it in the title, we're actually going to be today looking at a very in-depth look at the comfort and sound pack. There's quite a lot to it. You've got the heated seats, Bang & Olufsen upgraded sound system, you've got the parking assist with the parking system plus, and then finally rear view camera as well. So quite a lot of stuff there. This is going to be a slightly longer video, but in the future I'll split them up for anyone who wants to look at these individually as well. Also, feel free to use the play bar down below, where you can basically scroll forward if you're interested in any particular bit. Right, so with that said, let's dive into it. Before we get stuck into it, it's worth mentioning that the more basic trims, so the Sport, the Technic and the S-Line, the comfort and sound pack are available for £1,195, and on the edition 1 it's actually £995, and the reason behind that is it's a little bit cheaper because the edition 1 comes as standard with the heated seats. On the Vorsprung it's included, so you can't actually spec this up. On an S3 again, the heated seats are included as standard, but the rest of it is available for again £995. So let's dive into the first one, the heated seats. Nice and simple one to get going with. So you've got your driver side controls, passenger side controls, really easy to use. Click it in once, it comes on the highest setting at level 3. This is my personal preference as it just heats the seats up as quick as possible. Then as you click it in, it can go a little bit less, so level 2, level 1 and completely off. In my personal opinion, heated seats are a must in a modern day age vehicle, and yeah, I mean, especially right now, it being winter, waking up when it's like in the minus temperatures and having to have an early start, it's really nice to have the heated seats. So that was a nice quick one to get started with. Now let's jump into the Bang & Olufsen sound system upgrade. Right, so with the Bang & Olufsen sound system upgrade, you're actually getting virtual 3D surround as well. So we'll touch on that in a sec, how that works. But basically, as a standalone, it's £760 as an upgrade. So if you weren't going for the comfort and sound pack, it's actually only a little bit less than going for the full whack. And we'll touch on the later elements around the parking assist and the reverse camera, etc. in a second when we cover this section off. But I definitely think this is a must, just simply because although you're thinking of it as an initial upfront investment, you're actually going to get some of this back. So when you go on to sell your car, potential buyers looking for it, second-hand buyers looking to look for it, they're going to be looking for this comfort and sound pack. They're going to be looking for the Bang & Olufsen sound system. So keep that in mind. Everything you're paying, like I said, is £760 as standalone. You will see some of that back in terms of when you come to sell your car. It's going to be worth a little bit more than a car without the upgraded stereo system. So you might be wondering, how does this differ from the standard speaker setup in the A3? So with the Bang & Olufsen premium upgrade, what you do get is 15 separate speakers spaced out all around the car, whereas in the standard you get 6 passive speakers, which I don't want that to sound like, oh my god, the standard one's not going to have good sound. It has got good sound, but having personally sat in a car with and without the upgraded speakers, it's pretty evidential. And you know what, if you want your music to be a little bit more immersive, then go for it. This upgrade is for you. So how the virtual surround side of it works is there's 4 loudspeakers in the instrument panel, so think of that as your dashboard, and that basically what happens is when the sound comes off, it reverberates off the windscreen and actually ends up giving you a much more fuller mid-range amongst other things. So it just feels a lot better. Now again, I said this is noticeably different if you sit between one with a sound system, and not many people aren't going to have that opportunity. But if you are into your music, then it's something definitely worth bearing in mind. Taking that 3D aspect a step further, what Audi have done is actually built speakers into the rear C-pillars of the car. And again, what that allows to do is effectively give your rear passengers a slightly different sound and just optimize it. So depending on wherever you're sat in the car, your sound experience is actually optimized to make sure you're getting the best possible sounds. So for me, when I've sat as a rear passenger, I've always noticed it's a bit more fuller, a little bit more immersive. So you might be thinking, for £760 that actually sounds like quite a lot, but again guys, it comes down to whether you value your music that much. For me personally, think about the amount of miles you're going to be doing, it's worth it. It actually only ends up being about, the whole comfort and sound pack actually only works out about £15 a month, £20 a month if you're leasing the car. So think of it that way, as in you'll actually be having a much better enjoyment of the car. The other thing I would say is what you don't get for the upgrade, which is a bit frustrating, is the presets. So what I mean by that is, if you usually go with the aftermarket stereo, you'll have presets such as jazz, pop, R&B, I don't know, rock, etc. Right? So it actually helps you quickly get it to some of the settings that you want and you enjoy. However, with this, I must admit, when I first got the car, I was a little underwhelmed, but the reason behind that was I needed to go in and adjust the presets. So it would have been nice to have some basic presets. I'm no musician. I don't really understand all of the stuff. I just know what sounds good to my ears, right? So I knew it was lacking a bit of bass and a bit of treble. So I had to go in there and adjust that. But what I'll show you now is there's so many different settings within the upgraded sound system that it can get a bit overwhelming, especially if you're not that familiar with the terms being used, and you're pretty much left to figure it out yourself. Right guys, so we just jumped into it. This is the sound settings, or the EQ settings on the Bang & Olufsen system. You can see there the treble and the bass is already set. I've currently got the music muted. What I might do is just and what you're able to do really is just adjust this. So you can see for a second it's in the subwoofer. I'll take it out. It becomes very tinny. And that's set to minimum. And that's set to minimum, so if I up that, then you've also got your surround level. So what I touched on about this being a virtual surround, what you can do is, as you increase that, the sound will bounce off more. And again with the 3D sound, put that on high. At this point in the video, it would have been good, you know, if we could have demonstrated a car without it. We actually can. Remember that A3, that electric A3 last week? Guess what? That had the standard sound system, and you know we videoed this for you. So I'll throw up on screen now a basic soundtrack. So flick between the Bang & Olufsen sound and the standard speaker sound, and hopefully you guys can pick it up on camera. Again, I'm not sure if it's even a test that can be conducted without having the right microphones, etc., but hopefully it'll be noticeable. So we'll give that a go now. Right, so that's the Bang & Olufsen side of it done. Hopefully you saw from that video that it was worth it. From the clip, completely different setup, but I think for £760 as a standalone upgrade, have a think about it, because like I said, even with the comfort and sound, you're going to get some of that money back when you come to sell your car. When I was previously looking at going out and buying the previous generation, the 8V, you'd be surprised how many cars we turned down straight away because they didn't have the heated seats and they didn't have the upgraded B&O system. So there'll be buyers like me out there in the future as well, so just keep that in mind. You will get that money back at some stage. or part of that money, sorry. Now the next stage that we're going to move on to is the parking assist with the Parking System Plus. Let me break down why it's important you're aware of this pack and what you get with it. So it's available as part of the driver assist upgrade or the driver assist package, and it's available as part of the comfort and sound pack. In an upcoming video we're going to cover off the lane change assistance pack, and this is actually required for it, so you do need the Parking System Plus upgrade. What that gets you in addition to your standard rear parking sensors is front parking sensors and ultrasonic side sensors. Now what Audi aren't clear about, and where people have been a bit, I guess, have discovered this and didn't really know, is when you put the car in reverse, the MMI shows you an image of an Audi. So usually on a modern car, when that's shown, what you're able to do is see how far you are from the object with a visual representation of the parking sensors. However, if you do not equip this pack, you won't have the red bars, etc. showing you how far you are from something. Those same sensors are then what helps the park assist work as well, because it gives the car a real good feel for pretty much close to 360 around it, so it knows everything and where everything is, right? Now with the park assist, we did a fun cinematic a while back. Again, I'll put it up there in a pop-up banner, which showed you the concept of it, and it's a really good feature in terms of where the future's going. However, right now I feel it's still a bit of a novelty and a bit gimmicky, so I've never actually used this feature outside of just showing somebody, oh look, isn't it great that my car can do this. And it's worth noting it is more of a steering assist function than actually a parking assist, and what I mean by that is you'll see when we demonstrate it to you how you actually use it. It's pretty limiting and still requires quite a lot of user input. Now the competition, other manufacturers on the market like BMW, etc., they've seemed to have cracked it where the car will literally park itself, right? So don't mistake the park assist in the Audi as that's the functionality you'll be getting. It requires user input, and we're going to show you that today. There's three main modes that are involved in the park assist. So one is parallel park, the other is bay parking, so think of it when you're at a supermarket, something like that. And the final one is how you actually get out of the space, so exit from a parking space as well. So we're going to cover all three now. The first one we'll start with, to make it nice and simple, is parallel park. So how I'm going to decide to film this is give you guys a bit of a POV view to actually see what controls, etc. I would have to use as I'm driving, so you can really see what's involved and how much the car actually automates and how much driver input's required as well. So with that said, let's jump into it, guys. Right guys, so we're going to try and get it in that parking space over there. To turn on the park assist, you press the button down here, and then you can see automatically on the screen it's looking on the left hand side, so we obviously want to park on the right. So what you do is you flick the indicator to the right, and now the car starts searching. So usually is as you just go past the space, it will know fully that that's a space that it can get it into. So keep an eye on the screen here. And there you go. So it's come up there, it's identified a parking space, and it's showing you that it's going to reverse back and go to the side and in. So basically a parallel park. Now to start the maneuver, what you have to do is put the car into reverse. And basically what I want you guys to do now is just keep an eye. I'll start a stopwatch in the corner and we'll do a comparison between auto park and manual park. So let's start. I've put it into reverse. I'm going to come off the brake and watch what the steering does. Right, so the whole way through this you want to slightly keep your foot on the brake, so maybe at about 40–50%. Right, and now it's telling you select forward gear. So you select that, it does its steering maneuvers. Again, come off the brake gently. Select reverse. And there you go. So as far as it's concerned, the parking's ended. Let's go outside and have a look. So So you can immediately see there that is really, really straight. So that's one thing about the park assist. No matter where you park it, it always gets the car dead straight. Exactly same position we were. Now this time manually we're going to try to do the lock. Right, so stopwatch again, let's go. There we go. 2 maneuvers, we're in a lot quicker. So I'll stop the stopwatch and you'll have that as a comparison. We'll move on now and we'll find you a bay parking situation. So the best place for this is probably a supermarket. So let's go see if we can find one of those. Right, so here we are in Asda. We're going to try and make it park between 2 separate cars. Same thing, engage the park assist, tell it which side to look on, wait for it to find the parking space. So there you go, it's found one. This time it's reversed into a bay, so hopefully it'll go in the right bay. Let's see. So yep, I can see straight away it's trying to go in the right bay. So again, keeping my foot very heavily on the brake, and you can see it kind of gets there and then tells you select forward. Just selecting forward, come off the brake. Now what's it want me to do? Okay, still keep going forward. Oh, nearly became headless. So this is why you always need to keep an eye on the car, guys. But yeah, now you can see it's backing us up into that space. This actually looks like a pretty straight parking. Right, park assist ended. That's it, you're done. Let's have a look from outside how good the parking was. Right, not bad at all. I mean, obviously I had my choice of parking spaces over there, anywhere pretty much in the retail park, but yeah, it did not do a bad job at all. So one thing I didn't show at the start was when I was originally parked up. When you're parked with the parking assist, as in that's helped you get into the space, what you can actually do is have it help you out of the space as well. So similar thing, what you do is press the park assist and then it says select your direction of travel. Obviously we don't want to go to the left, we'll end up in that person's front garden over there. So what we want to do is go to the right, and again similar thing, use your indicator to tell the car which way you want to go. Start the unparking procedure, press OK, and it's basically saying put the car in reverse and operate the brakes. Press and hold the brake button, select forward gear. It's going to give you enough steering angle that it thinks you need. As you start coming out, it lets go, and that's it. So it'll help you out of the space as well, but it's handy. But I mean, that was probably a bad example. It's such a big space, it's easy to get out of it anyway. Right guys, so I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of the park assist with the parking system plus. So again, as I mentioned, the whole way it functions is through those extra parking sensors on the front, on the sides. It's a good feature to have. I would almost say, rather than the park assist being the benefit, I just feel having more parking sensors is a lot more beneficial. Like I've touched on in one of the demonstrations, the park assist itself is a bit gimmicky. Again, it's not up there with the competition. You still have to be very much involved, whereas with BMW, etc., you can just start it and completely let go and the car will take care of itself. I've had it do some really weird stuff on me, so that's again why I feel like it's a bit gimmicky, it's not really useful. So like we showed you, when we select which side of the road we want to do and it finds a parking space, what was actually happening was when I put the car into reverse, it would totally miss the parking space that I thought it captured. Actually, in some cases, reverse halfway down the road, to the point where I couldn't really figure out 100% how to get it to work all the time. The other thing is, I've had it do a weird thing where you select it to leave a parking space and it's almost just about going to go and hit something else if I hadn't intervened. So like I said, it's a bit gimmicky. It's nice to show your friends, but I wouldn't rely on it, and personally I don't trust it. But having said that, I almost see it as you're buying the parking system plus, and it just happens to come with this park assist function, not the other way around. So the sensors themselves are absolutely worth it. Just having that visual representation on the MMI screen just helps a long way in terms of when you come to park and being able to do it in a comfortable and reassured manner. So I think all that's left now to show you guys is the reverse camera. You would have seen it there in part of the demonstration, but what we'll do now is just focus on it and show you what it is, how it actually works, and yeah, again, why it's an added bonus as part of the comfort and sound pack. Don't get me wrong guys, some of these things like the extra parking sensors and even a reverse camera I personally feel should be standard now on a car. Certainly when you're looking at buying an S-Line or Edition 1, I feel they should be standard. Let's jump onto the last demo for the day. Right guys, so as soon as you put it into reverse, everything will pop up. So it's a really nice crisp camera. It's actually hidden in the boot lid, and it's really like crisp in terms of, I think it's borderline even HD, but as far as reverse cameras go, it's one of the nicest quality ones that I've seen. Over on the left hand side then you've got your normal MMI parking visual display. So again, with this being the parking system plus, it does actually have live sensor readings here. So you've got front sensors and then the side ones that I talked about, which again help identify what's around you. And you'll see now that there's a grid on screen, the red lines where you shouldn't really go past as like a final warning. So what we'll do is we'll slightly reverse backwards, and you'll see I want you to pay attention to the sensors here, which again helps give you that visual clue. Right, so sensors are beeping, right, but we're going to go a bit more. So that's it, that's up to the red line. So just put it in park so you guys can hear me again. And what we'll do is let's have a quick look outside and see how close we actually are to this car. It'll just give you a good idea of how much to trust the red line. I personally feel it's there as an idiot-proof barrier. So we'll see in a second. I'm pretty sure there is still a bit more room. Yep, so just as I imagined, there's literally, well, that much room, so you can use that as a rough guide. It's a very good thing for if you're not confident it's the first time that you're driving the car. What I didn't show you was these yellow markers actually move based on where the steering is. So you can see here, as I'm rotating the steering, you can see what's happening to those yellow lines. And basically they're there in terms of trying to show you and estimate where your parking maneuver will finish. So guys, hope you found that quick video useful. Like I said, it's actually a really good camera. I'm still staring at it on screen right now. It's really crisp. The night vision function is actually really good as well. I've been impressed with how good it is. I'll try throw in a clip of how it is. Definitely a worthwhile upgrade. So to me, it's another plus of having the comfort and sound pack. So bear that in mind. And like I said, it just makes the car feel more modern. And actually, when you get used to it, it's a really good feature to have. That brings us to the end of the video. So hopefully you found the comfort and sound pack demonstration useful. Let us know down below in the comment section whether you've ordered it, whether you're considering ordering it. Is there anything in the video that's persuaded you to buy it? Is there anything in the video which you weren't previously aware about, like for example, the lack of visual display if you do not opt for the pack? Like I said, I will be splitting these up so they're easier for other people to find in the future, and I'll upload those in the next few weeks. Until then, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and yeah, stay tuned for more upcoming content, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks.